What's good, y'all? What's good, man? We live. We live. OG Suicide in the building. Thank y'all for tuning in. I appreciate everybody tuning in, man, on a regular basis. Thank y'all for continuously subscribing to the channel. Means a lot to me. Means a lot to me. Had a guest coming today, last minute. Guess his team had him canceled. At the last minute, he had to cancel. Was unable to come on the show. He could come to the building, but couldn't sit down and answer no questions. So it's all good, So what I'm going to do today, I'm going to be taking questions from the audience, from the chat. Any questions y'all may have in the chat, if you want to ask me something, go right ahead. Love from South Australia. You want to ask any questions, go ahead and ask, and I will be answering them. Thank you. Hope everybody had a good day today too, man. For real. Hope y'all had a good day and you're staying focused and definitely, doing things in life that's going to get you further in life. That's going to advance you in life. Don't let things that you go through stop you from doing good things in life, and always protect your peace and always protect your mental health. Mental health is very important, but to some, I guess once it gets out of hand, then it's kind of hard to regain control. And that's what my show is about, keeping you set from the beginning and to the end. Oh, yeah, the chat's going. Any questions y'all may have in the chat, go right ahead. Ask any questions. I definitely will be answering them. Man, and like I said, once again, keep subscribing. Keep spreading the word, letting people know. Subscribe to OG Suicide in the building. Go to ogsuicideinthebuilding.com and get the merchandise. Keep pushing it. Keep spreading the word. Keep letting people know. Like I said, mental health is important, and together we can work together, and we can all come together and start helping each other a lot more.
Albert asked, when are we starting to get some of the part twos to some of these interviews?
Definitely part twos of the interviews. I think the first part two is going to be Sharp, which is going to be coming real soon. Definitely, that's going to be the first part two. Me and Sharp. Appreciate that.
What are the main common things people get wrong about trying to understand mental health?
A lot of things people get wrong trying to understand mental health. I would say sometimes people don't want to accept, wrong. Sometimes people don't want to accept their mistakes. And when you live that way, it turns into depression. It creates mental health. It definitely creates it. So understanding it is the most important part, is understanding what it is in your life that you can fix, that can better your life. People go through things in life, and fixing that situation that you're going through, sometimes we be in denial, of the situation, which we have to accept the situation and take it on and really find a solution. The key thing is find a solution to whatever it is you're going through and protect your mental health.
Mo said, what's the best way to deal with negative thoughts that randomly pop up? I've been struggling with dealing with those.
You're dealing with negative thoughts. Start thinking positive is a start, which I know is, for some, it's hard. I know, and I get it. I understand. Sometimes it's hard for you to think positive when you're thinking negative, but who do you surround yourself with? Sometimes your surroundings can kind of help you. If you're around positive people, that positive energy can rub off on you. But if it's just you all the time and you kind of like barricading yourself in your room and not communicating with nobody, then you're gonna think negative. You got to focus more on positive. Like the same way you think positive thoughts. Continuously to think positive thoughts. Mandatory, please. Think positive. Do positive things. Go positive places. Don't just be where it's negative energy, because that negative energy stays on you like a fungus, and it'd be hard to get off of you. So go around people that has good energy and enjoy.
Step asked, what do you do if you feel like you have no one in life at all?
If you have no one in life at all, I'm sure you have someone in life. Definitely. Everybody have somebody in their life that they can go to, that they can talk to. But sometimes we allow pride to keep us from doing that. Don't let your pride control you and block you from giving someone a chance to be there for you. You know, definitely don't do that, because that's how it be. Pride, and we feel like, oh, nobody care about me, nobody check on me, nobody call and see how I'm doing. And how often, I have a question for you too, do you actually pick your phone up and call people, or are you just kind of just stay to yourself and rather not be bothered?
Albert asked, who are your favorite interviews so far, and can you give us a hint to who's coming up next?
To be real with you, I don't have I wouldn't say I have a favorite interview, because each interview is different to me. Each interview, I'll just put it like this: every interview is my favorite, because every person individually has their own story, has their own meaning, their purpose in life. Everybody has different things that they've been through. So I mean, I love all the interviews. All the interviews to me is my favorite, because you learn about a person individually. It's not the same. Sometimes you may get similarities, but there's a big difference. And who's coming up next, it's kind of up for grabs, to be real with you. I'm working on some heavy hitters right now that I can't even leak.
How do you focus on being sober and a healthy dad?
How do you focus on being sober? Going cold turkey. Yeah, it's gonna be hard. You may relapse. Hopefully you don't, but you may relapse a couple of times. But going cold turkey and being a healthy dad, I recommend you being there for your kids. Spending all the extra time you got, instead of like dedicating it to drinking or whatever it is you do, dedicate that time to your children, spending time with your children and enjoying your family, like really building a structure with your family, growing with your family, creating memory with your family. That's important. Building memory. And that's how you be a healthy dad. And go cold turkey. Just stop. Just stop. Because when you try to weed yourself off, you're still doing it. And then your intake make you want more. Go cold turkey.
All right, Dakota asked, any advice to get my lady to understand if we don't enforce respect and discipline in our children and home, now they will possibly grow up to be disrespectful and selfish individuals?
They're gonna grow up and be disrespectful. If you don't gang, I wouldn't even say control of your children. If you don't gain understanding and communication with your children, and embed in them to not be disrespectful, you're not going to tolerate it. You're not going to accept them being disrespectful. You're just not. It's just not going to happen, because the more you allow it, and show this to your lady too. The more you allow your children to say what they want, do what they want, come and go as they want, they're gonna run all over you. Eventually, you're gonna start feeling like a rug, because they're just going to walk all over you. So make sure you embed that in them now while they're young. You're not going for it. You're not tolerating it. You're not putting up with it, and stand on that. Be thorough about that. Don't be lingering. Don't be nice, because that nice could be taken advantage of. And they need to know this, because if you don't do it now, when they get older, then they're going to be getting in your face and cussing at you and telling you to shut up. And then you're going to say, wow, if I would have just did this when they were younger, I wouldn't be going through this. Fix it now.
What are some of the best ways that help you physically, that benefit you mentally, that anybody could try? So I think they're asking, like, what are some ways you could help yourself physically
Go to the gym.
and it improves your mental health?
Yep. Go to the gym. I go to the gym. I work out. I try to get there 5 days a week. But if you go to the gym, that builds strength in yourself, in your body. That builds strength. And when you build strength physically, then that also work towards your mental. Because the better you feel about yourself, sometimes, all of us have had points in our life where we've been healthy, but as you get older, weight come on you, and the older you get, the harder it gets to get the weight off of you. And you start feeling sluggish. You don't feel like yourself. And that bothers you mentally. But if you work on your physical, I guarantee you'll start feeling good about yourself again mentally, because you will see a difference. Then there's a dedication there. So when you start seeing yourself developing back physically and looking healthy, then that's definitely going to help you mentally.
Since you started Never Give Up, what growth have you seen and changes from the world that changed the way we learn and understand mental health?
I've over the years, Never Give Up. That's one of my favorite records that I made. But over the years, and I live to be the face of Never Give Up. Grab my water. But over the years, people have messaged me from all around the globe, and they tell me how my song gives them good energy. It empowers them and inspires them to want to continue to not give up. So over the years, I've talked many people out of committing suicide, and when you can look, like my story, for instance, it uplifts, it inspires, it motivates, it educates, it also, it gives people hope. Without hope, then what do you have? Hope and faith are two words. Technically, same meaning, but just pronounced different, spelled different. But it's the same thing, because faith is hope and hope is faith. Long as you have one of those in your heart, and you focus more on the good about life and less of the bad about life. Because if you spend a lot of time focusing on giving up, then definitely it's going to be hard for you to focus on never giving up. So always make the right decisions in your thoughts. Never give up should be something you tell yourself in the mirror every single day. You get up to brush your teeth, wash your face, and you look in that mirror and you look at yourself and you tell yourself, never give up. I got this. Never give up. I got this. And that's real.
Is self-awareness, being honest with yourself, taking accountability, just being real, the key of growing yourself?
Yeah. I mean, taking accountability to you're not being honest, with people. You're not just being honest about life. Technically, you're only lying to yourself, So that's why you're in denial, because you got this battle with yourself. That's what you're doing. You battling yourself. And it's not allowing you. I don't know if you feel shameful about owning up to your wrongdoing. You got this ego or alter ego, or this is just who you are, that you feel like, oh, I'm not gonna be honest. I'm just gonna bullshit everybody. I'm just gonna be this way. Like, if you're in the wrong, you're not gonna own up to it. You're gonna argue and go back and forth. Be honest with yourself, and then you'll be honest with everybody else. That's very important. Be honest with yourself. If you're in the wrong, own up to it. If you get into it with somebody, y'all have an argument, a misunderstanding, or whatever the case is, if you're 100% in the wrong, own up to it. There's nothing wrong with apologizing when you make a mistake, because that's what I'm going to call it. You made a mistake, but own up to it. You'll feel better.
If you could ask God anything, what would it be and why?
If I can ask God anything, I would ask God to bring Miss Price back. And why? It's because Miss Price was my everything. If y'all know me, y'all know Miss Price was my everything. You know, definitely I would ask God to bring Miss Price back. And I would just hug her and wouldn't let her go. You know, that's definitely what I would do, and that's my reason why, because Miss Price was my everything. That was a good question right there. That one, yeah, that was a good one.
OG, my sister is with a piece of shit dude. Why with him living under my parents' roof? While with him living under my parents' roof, I'm married with a career and kids, and I get the urge to crash out and whip him. How should I be handling this without hands?
Okay, without hands, how should you handle it? Because you have a lot to lose with nothing to give, and I respect that. He lived under your parents' roof, and he's being disrespectful. Have you said anything to him about it? I kind of would start there, more on a man-to-man conversation, not you just pull up and jump out and just come outside. Like, I would kind of try to address it the right way first. And how is your sister in his relationship? Because you do something to him and your sister get mad at you, now she can't stand you, you know, or you do something to him and she run back to him. And it's like you really got your back against the wall. You know, if he's being disrespectful to your parents, though, then I mean, you got to do what you got to do, because he can't live under your parents' roof and be disrespectful to them. That's definitely not good. You can't accept that. You got to let him know straight out. I'm not telling you to go physically harm him. That's definitely not what I'm saying, but it got to be addressed. And you need to sit down with your sister and have a one-on-one with her, just you and her, go out, eat, do something, and talk to her and let her know how you feel. And you're not finna accept it no more. Straight out.
How do you know if a person is your soulmate or not?
How do you know if a person is your soulmate? It's gonna take time. It's gonna take time to find that out. Because here's why. You could be with a person for some years, and then finally you start seeing a different them. You start looking like, wow, like, I know this person, but where have this person been hiding? You know, it can happen a year, 2 years, 3 years, 5 years, 10 years, 20 years, 30 years. You never know. You never know. That's kind of like a hard one to really say. How do you know? I believe, yeah, love at first sight, definitely believe in it. But here's one thing I will say. If you got a lady in your life and she's down to work, just like you down to work, and y'all both out grinding, and y'all both have the same vision, y'all both have that understanding and y'all both are going in the same direction and the relationship is not one-sided, then that's a start of you knowing if that's your soulmate. Now, if she a stay-at-home mom and you going to work and you're the breadwinner and you coming home and, I mean, the home is clean, the kids are good, like everything is set, you know. It feels good when you come home. That's another way to know this is your soulmate. If you come home and, I mean, it's been looking the same way for days, then it's like, where's the understanding? Where's the communication? And then you say something to her like wow, you know, I that's where the arguments start. You know, I go to work, I come home, the house not clean and it's toe up and nothing's cooked, and that kind of would let you know she's not there 1,000,000%. Yeah, taking care of kids is hard. I get it, but kids go to sleep and there is time for you to manage things around the house.
How do you know if a person is really rocking with you?
How do you know if a person is really rocking with you? How do you know? If a person is really rocking with you, I'll be honest with you. It's kind of like self-explanatory. It's really kind of like, to me, you should be able to see it. And if you can see it, then you can feel it. You know, follow your first mind, though. Because for you to ask that question, there's a tad bit of doubt somewhere there that got you wondering, like, and you really care about this person. I could tell that's why you asked that question, because you really feeling this person. Like, you really into this person. And you trying to figure out if they're really into you the same way you're into them. It could take you a little time to find it out, you know. But it's a saying, don't put all your eggs in one basket. You know, kind of just take your time with it. You know, take your time with it. Don't rush into things, because you could rush into something and then you find out that they're not rocking with you how you rocking with them, and then it can break your heart. You know, it can bother you. So kind of take your time with it and really get the feel of this person to see how this person move with you.
What are some things that your young homies or your own kids taught you in your life?
One thing I could say, my young homies taught me, or my kids, to keep being who I am. Because my young homies know the life I come from. My kids know. My youngest, she don't know all the way yet. You know, my daughter Anaya, she don't know all the way yet because she's 14. But, you know, my son, DJ, my daughter Tyler, my daughter Destiny, they know. You know, they know what life I come from. And they definitely see me living different, doing it different. I'm more focused on trying to empower people, trying to drop knowledge that you can live by, that you can take, run with, and grow with. Because I tell everybody, follow me now. Don't follow the old me, because the old me would have had us all on the wrong road, you know. I never taught my young homies to do bad things, you know, my kids either. But follow me now. Follow the road and the journey that I'm on now is better. It's positive. It's more about, like I said, uplifting, motivating, inspiring, empowering, giving the knowledge that you can live by.
What is some advice you could give people who are struggling with bipolar depression and can't help themselves?
Bipolar depression. And rest in peace, you know, Mike Demarell, he was bipolar. You would see him, he would be good and smiling and normal and regular, calm. And then you would see him and He was ready to just explode, didn't care about nothing. He was this all he spoke on was violence. So bipolarity to me is almost like being a Gemini, because a Gemini is two people, two different people. But what you're gonna have to focus on is what makes you happy. Because regardless of you bipolar or whatever people are diagnosed with, there is something in this world that you love to do that makes you smile, that takes you away from feeling certain ways. Practice that, work on that. Will it happen overnight? No, it's not going to happen overnight. It's definitely not. Should you take medication? Everybody's different. I used to have to take medication and I stopped taking it because it wasn't helping me. This my own thought on medication sometime. Well, me personally, I'll speak on me personally. It made me worse. It made me feel worse than I felt before the day I tried to leave here. So find something in life that you love to do that makes you happy, that takes you away from bad thoughts.
What else do you care about besides family and helping people? Can't say weed or movies.
Can't say what?
Weed or movies.
What else I care about besides taking care of helping people and family? I care about my peace. I care about my own personal mental health a lot, a heck of a lot. I go through things myself. Right now to this day, I go through things myself, but I don't bring what I go through to this is my safe haven. This is my comfort zone. Whether I'm here or I'm at the studio, this is my comfort zone. So whatever I go through, I don't bring it with me. I leave it where it's at. Because the key thing is I live to protect my peace, my mental health. And like I said, I'm in the gym now, so I'm focused on my physical. I'm happy to wake up every day, to come with new ideas and new thoughts, and I'm still at my age, I'm still building and creating my journey every day. So these are things that I love, waking up and just coming with new ideas and taking those new ideas and executing with them new ideas. I mean, it's important. It means a lot to me, because there's always room for improvement. So that's something I care about a lot. The moves I make and me improving myself as a person, as a whole.
What are some of your favorite memories of Miss Price?
Some of my favorite memories of Miss Price is being in the kitchen when she cooking. Because, Miss Price she was on a plantation with her mom. She used to tell me how she used to pick cotton. She was from Gladewater, Texas. Was on a plantation, like I said, with her mom, used to pick cotton. They was able to, to get away, to escape. And she came to California in 1955. And she adopted me when I was 18 months. And like I said, her cooking, she made everything from scratch. And I know how to cook, and I learned from watching her. And then we used to sit and watch TV, and, we used to just talk. And no matter what I asked her, it's like, she always had an answer for it. During them times I, was feeling down. After I found out about my life, how I was born a crack baby, I was abandoned, found in an apartment, placed in a foster home, which was her home, but she adopted me. And struggling in school. I had a learning disorder. I had special ed classes, and she really used to embrace me because as a youngster, I can remember the school told Ralph J. Bunch Elementary told her that I would never amount to anything. And, I remember coming to her, she's sitting in the living room watching TV, and I asked her, like, why did they say that about me? Why do they feel like I'm never gonna be nothing? And I would just burst out into tears. I was let it out, loved one, back then. I would bust out into tears, man, because I used to be just so traumatized and just toe up from why me, why this happened to me. But she always embraced me, and she always made me feel better about myself. She was the person that embedded in me, don't listen to nothing they say. You're going to be somebody. You're going to be all right. She used to always tell me, I'm not worried about you. You're going to be all right in life. You just got to learn to stay out of trouble, because I used to get in trouble a lot. But she've always told me, loved ones, that you're going to be all right.
What are some of your favorite songs that you've made throughout the years, and why?
Okay, some of my favorite songs. Had an album came out. My godfather, Leon Haywood, rest in peace, had him embraced me and put me on Eve Jim Records. I had brought an album to him. But I wrote this album when I was homeless. The name of this album is Final Exit. The first song off the album was titled Final Exit. That was the name of it. Living on the Edge. Final Exit. That was one of my favorite songs because I wrote that album homeless. That whole album. And Final Exit was one of the first songs that I wrote that it meant the world to me because it represented, it's on YouTube too. It came out in 95, but it represented who I was, how I was living, where I came from. And that album called Final Exit, and how I got the name Final Exit, there was a book, and the name of this book was Final Exit. And this book was based upon people with a terminal illness, whether it was cancer or whatever the illness was. You were on your final exit, from suffering to death. And I read this book, and I can't remember the name of it because it was so long ago, but I read this book, and the things that I read about in this book, no, I didn't have cancer or anything like that, but I felt like I was going through a terminal illness from just how I was born and how life I was dealt these cards in life that I wasn't able to pick the hand. I had to just take the cards that I was dealt, and I had to play them. So that album, Final Exit, it was like, this is me. This is my final exit. It's either now or never, and that's how I lived. I was wild. I was in the streets. I was this person, man. Like, if a lot of people that know me know, but if you knew me from many years ago and you see me now, you would be like, wow. Like, I know y'all get it from my story, but being there physically with me, seeing it, like, man, I'm serious. And Final Exit, I was living that, and that was my terminal illness. I was living to die, just how I was living. And I was living it like it was a terminal illness. Like, these streets, to me, that was my final exit. I always knew and felt I was going to die in these streets, and I didn't care. But that's how I was living. Like, this is my final exit. I'm going to be in these streets. I'm going to grind. I'm going to hustle. I'm going to do whatever. And I know this is where I'm going to leave here from.
If you could go back and see yourself 10 years ago, what would you tell yourself and why?
If I could go back and see myself 10 years ago, I was going through a lot 10 years ago too, still. I still go through things, like I said, but 10 years ago, I would go back and I would tell my old self from 10 years ago, I would be like, family, in 10 years, you're going to be proud of yourself. You're going to really be happy about what you're doing. You're going to be given knowledge that's going to be inspiring people to want to live. That's going to uplift, motivate, educate, knowledge. You're going to be giving knowledge to people, and they're going to embrace it. And you're going to make yourself accessible to everybody to where they can reach you and they can talk to you. Unlike a lot of people in this world that's in my position, but they only care about people when it's lights, camera, action, and they in front of the media. Then that's when they put on an act. They put on a mask. Then afterwards, they take the mask off and they don't care no more. Me, I care. I really care. From here, I really care. And it means the world to me. So that's what I would tell myself 10 years ago, me. Straight up.
Is it right for an 18-year-old man to date a 45-year-old woman?
Well, you got you a cougar. You driving the Cadillac too? You got you a cougar. Man, I'm sure she she got grandkids older than you, man. What you doing? You can't find nobody your age. She built right, huh? She bought you an Xbox or PlayStation 5 for Christmas. Man, what's up with you, man? You got you a cougar. Hey, I mean, to each his own, man. I mean, I don't recommend it. I ain't gonna pat you on your back and be like, do your thing, boy, do your thing. Like, nah, loved one, nah, go find you somebody, man. That's your age, man. You mess around, lose your cougar, you gonna lose your mind. Cougar got that snapback, huh?
Favorite memory with AD that you have?
Oh, man, favorite memory with my nephew AD, man, in the neighborhood, man. Just when I used to see my nephew, man, he was getting into his street thing. You know what I mean? He was out here in these streets, man, and I remember we used to have talks, man, and I used to just look and smile and be like, wow, like, nephew, man, and nephew owned one, man, and we used to talk, and he went through it. He went through things, man. He bumped his head several times, but what a good memory I can call is seeing him progress, seeing him from the start of wanting to get his life together, the beginning of his music career. Him just staying on a grind, watching him on this grind, man. Like, definitely, my section, I paved the way, 1,000,000%. Nephew will tell you that. But nephew got out here and did this footwork. That's the key thing, man. And just seeing him do that was like a great thing to me. Like, just seeing him progress, like steady rising, steady rising, steady rising. I'm like, it's my nephew right there, man. For real.
What advice would you give yourself, your 20-year-old self?
Advice I would give my 20-year-old self. When I was 20, it was ugly. I'm gonna be honest with you. If I would have gave my 20-year-old self some advice, my 20-year-old self would have wanted to fight me. Because I didn't want to hear nothing. It was like I was just living that life, man. I didn't want to hear nothing. Could nobody tell me nothing. So the 20-year-old me, I would have said, be more careful. Because, I like I said earlier in the conversation, I really was living like, I was living that life like just ready to die. Like, when I was younger, a lot of older, older cats in the neighborhood, like the neighbors. I could recall times they used to tell me, boy, you keep living, you keep going the way you going, you ain't gonna live to be 16. And I was 14 when they told me that. And I could recall going to a lot of their funerals, and to sit here now and look at myself, I never thought I would have kids. I never thought I was going to live long enough because I heard so much from people that I was going to die because of how I was living. It's like the neighbors, that was the conversations, they held with me. Not my OGs, but the older neighbors in the neighborhood. Come here, boy. Let me talk to you. I see you out here. I see what you're doing. You keep it up. So that stuck in me. You know what I mean? And I just started feeling that way. Like, well, forget it. I ain't gonna live that long anyway. I'm gonna die. So I never thought I would live long enough to have kids. I would definitely, not in a million years thought I would live long enough to have grandkids. Like, it's that deep. It's that serious. I never thought in a million years I would live this long to have what I have in life.
Advice for a father who lost his father a month before his baby was born.
Ooh, that's pain, man. That's pain. Make sure, family, please, loved one, your father passed. My condolence. My condolence, first of all. My condolence to you. Second of all, as your child grow, you make sure, and hear me thoroughly when I tell you this, please, make sure your child always know who your father is. Like your father is still above ground right here on this earth. You make sure your child know who his grandfather is. From beginning to younger to middle age to older, don't ever let your kid grow up without that amazing memory of your father.
How do you deal with rejection?
Rejection. Don't force yourself on whoever the person is. Whatever you do, don't force yourself. I really mean that. Don't force yourself on this person. Sometimes it's best to just let it go. If it's meant, it's not going nowhere. If it's meant to be, it's not going anywhere. So sometimes also look at it like rejection could be temporary. Maybe they just don't want you at this given time, right now. And things can change. But don't force yourself on no one. Never force yourself on anyone, whatever you do. If a person keep rejecting you, go find somebody that's going to accept you.
Who do you have taking the Super Bowl?
Uh, I don't have anybody in particular. I'm gonna watch the game, but as you can see, the hat I'm wearing, this this is my only take right here. If it ain't them, if it ain't my boys in the Super Bowl, then I'm cool. I'll watch it, but it's Cowboys to the end.
Do any of your kids or grandkids make music?
My son make music. Yes, my son makes music. Little side. Definitely. And if y'all go look at my profile too on Instagram, then y'all can see, what I mean, my team, man, my squad, my artists, y'all could go see, what I'm saying? My son is on their little side. My nephew Dre Hill, my little bro, IMB Izzy, Johnny Cash Beats, Glide, man, Digital Currency, our distribution company. Shout out to my nephew Adrian Swiss. We in grind mode, man. We got something for y'all this summer. Stay tuned. And, and shout out to Seals, man, with them videos.
Is there a motto or a quote that you think of daily?
Oh, definitely. Steph in here. It's my niece right there. Definitely my model, and I live by this. I stand on this. You can quote this. Live by this too. And I'm sure you've heard me say it before, but a hospital not the only thing with patients. You can quote that.
Do you ever daydream?
Yeah, I daydream. I think so hard, because I'm always thinking of new ideas. I'm always thinking of ways to improve or trying to come up with something that can be an impact to the world. So sometimes I do catch myself, daydreaming because I'll be thinking on creating something and then I just zone out and then I just snap out of it. I snap out of it and I grind so hard and I go so hard in life for this music, for this podcast, for just being an impact, a positive impact, the face of never give up. Sometime I take naps standing up on my feet, straight out.
How to help someone understand that life is pain but isn't at the same time?
Life is pain, but isn't at the same time. How are you dealing with that pain? What are you doing to help eliminate that pain? Like what is some of the things that you're doing? Like definitely we go through pain. The world goes through pain. They just had a major earthquake, man, in Syria and I forgot another country. They're going through pain. So around the globe, we go through pain. We're gonna go through pain. It's all about what are you doing to embrace that pain, to eliminate that pain. You know, love. Love is important. Some people say like, okay, like people don't care about them or they don't. Well, I don't deal with this person or deal with that person. I get that. I understand that. But there is people that you do deal with that can embrace you, that can show you love. Love is important. Love is just it's starting to feel like it's a dirty word because people don't show love like they used to. They don't embrace their people, man. It's like everybody's in this competition with each other, and we could build. We could come together and build. All is one. I don't care what color your skin is, what walk of life you come from. We can all come together and build something. But love, like I said, is starting to seem like a dirty word because it's not being shown like it used to. People don't even speak, man. I speak to everybody. Just like when I come to the building here, no jumper, I speak to everybody here, loved one. From the front of the building to the back of the building, I speak. I speak to people in the streets, in public. You know I speak. I take phone calls. I answer messages. But people don't even speak, man. There's been times people would make eye contact with me. And I'd be like, hey, how you doing? They look away. Like, I mean, this is in the movie Ghost with Whoopi Goldberg. Like, I'm really here. This is really me speaking. But that's just how people are, man. We live in that time, loved ones. Definitely.
What are some guests you want on in the building?
I want definitely on the OG Suicide in the building, a couple of guests. I want to sit down with the young kid, man, Justin Bieber. He got a lot going on mentally for sure. And it's kind of just a matter of time, I feel like, before it really takes control of him. I want to sit down with little bro RJ. I'm sorry, Ray J. Want to sit down with little bro, man. Lamar Odom, I reached out to his manager. He got back and, he pretty much asked me like, well, is it paying? And I'm like, well, I mean, unfortunately, no, it's not paying. My podcast is about mental health. It's about taking a bad situation, putting it on the table, showing what you've been through. It's almost like a map. Take your bad life and show a person how you overcame that bad life and created a better life for yourself. And this is for the youth. So that interview was denied, which I'm okay with that. I'm just going to keep pushing and keep reaching out to people because I know it's just a matter of time before there be a line wrapped around the corner to come sit down with OG Cuicide in the building. And I definitely would love to sit down with Kanye West too, because I know it's a lot going on, man. The list goes on, the list goes on. And also, I want to sit down with some of my everyday people.
This is not really a question, but this guy named Isaac said that it's his wife's and his anniversary on the 22nd. They love watching you, and he wants to know if you could shout her out, and her name's Alexis.
Alexis?
Mm-hmm.
And what's did he say the husband name or no?
Isaac.
Isaac, they having an anniversary.
Mm-hmm. 5 years.
Check this out. Isaac and Alexa, this is OG Cuicide from OG Cuicide in the building. I want to say happy 5-year anniversary to y'all. Stay working together as a team. Don't let nothing outside intervene with the inside. It's been 5 years. Continue going until you get to 55 years. Keep being amazing. Once again, happy anniversary from OG Cuicide in the building. And thank y'all for watching. Okay. That's cool. Anniversary.
If the music industry cared about mental health the way they do the bullshit, how do you think that how would that affect it, you think?
If the music industry cared about mental health,
how would that affect the music industry?
If they cared about mental health, we would have less artists in the industry doing drugs. They would get them help. Like if you work for the post office and you work for the post office for years and you come to work drunk or intoxicated, they get you help. Once you in, they don't fire you right away. They get you help. They literally get you help. So the industry, they need to do that. It's $1 trillion industry. Money is being made hand over hand, fist over fist. But it's not about your mental. As long as you could get in there and put your lyrics on that beat that's playing and make it a hit and it make big money, keep doing what you're doing. Long as the industry is like, as long as it's not affecting their pockets, keep doing what you're doing.
I think that's about it right now. If anybody has any more questions, feel free to send them.
Oh yeah, step up.
I had to ask you if it's okay for an 18-year-old to date a 45-year-old.
That was
Yeah.
funny. It was for real too. Like, man, you got a cougar. Y'all don't even look right walking in the mall. Like, is that your grandmother? Oh, that was funny. You gonna think about it too. That was too funny, man. Too funny. Everyone, make sure, man, y'all go get y'all shirts from OG Cuicide in the building.com. Go get your shirts, go get your hats. New merch on the way, coming real soon. Real soon. Real soon. Real soon. Also, make sure, man, you go tap in to my son Lil Cide music on Spotify. Lil Cide, Lilcide. Run Up a Bag, major music, that's on Spotify. Also, my nephew Dre Hill, Drehill. Go check him out. Can't Stay the Same just came out on Spotify. Doing good, amazing music. My little bro, IMB Izzy. Make sure you go check him out. Appreciate that. Keep subscribing. Keep passing the word. Keep letting everybody know. Keep letting everybody know to go check out OG Cuicide in the Building podcast, the podcast that's based on mental health.
All right. One last question?
Yes.
All right. What made you want to start a mental health podcast?
What made me want to start a mental health podcast? I look at life like this. There's a lot of people in this world that don't have guidance, that feel like they don't have no one that they can talk to, that they can actually trust, that they can really express themselves and not be looked down on. So my life story helps people. It really inspires people. It really educates people to want to continue. It gives them hope. It gives them faith. So my music, I used to use to do this, but I felt like them actually seeing me in a physical form, expressing what I express the way I do. I don't look down on nobody. I don't care who you are, what color your skin is. None of that matters to me. None of it matters to me. I want to see everybody win. I want to see everybody grow. I want to see everybody live, and I want to see everybody get through the storm. Because I guarantee you, every storm shall pass. And at the end of that storm, definitely the sun comes out. And there is light at the end of that tunnel. But you can't get halfway through that tunnel and stop. All you see is darkness on both sides of you. You keep going. You keep going. All of you can stop you. Don't stop yourself. Keep putting one foot in front of the other, moving forward. I guarantee you, life gets better. That's why I started a podcast, because I am the face of Never Give Up, and I just want y'all to know from the bottom of my heart, I love y'all. Without y'all, there's no me. Because without y'all, who would I be talking to? Myself. And there's nothing wrong with talking to yourself. Just make sure you don't answer back. I'm OG Cuicide. This is OG Cuicide in the building. I love y'all. Peace.